Time is just gone 19 minutes past 8 a.m. And this morning we kick off looking at the implications of the imminent arrest of Magashule on the ANC, and also looking at what is or how it is likely to impact internally. And considering that the ANC in recent years, there have been a number of battles, particularly looking at factional battles. Now, what does this actually mean? And to provide or to unpack what is the likely scenario. We joined on the line this morning by Professor Sethulego Matebesi, political analyst from the University of Free State. Professor, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning, Adrian, and good morning to your wonderful listeners.
Right, Prof. Obviously, there is already talk about the ANC. We know things haven't been too rosy within the ruling party for quite a while now. And with the imminent arrest of S. Magashule, are we looking at an ANC in further turmoil?
Yes, well, the ANC is already in turmoil. We saw immediately after it became public knowledge that then a warrant of arrest has been issued. If you look at what happened in the Free State, some of the public pronouncements by key ANC leaders, Carl Neau's MKVA, and even yesterday during the court case of the other implicated, the divisions, it's clear for everyone to see within the African National Congress. And I foresee a situation where this will definitely, the conflict, internal strife will definitely escalate.
Yes. Now, for far too long, Professor, we know these factions have been operating, and at some point in time, something had to give. Now, we know what has happened in the past when we look at Jacob Zuma, and we had the whole Polokwane issue when Thabo Mbeki was ousted. And thereafter, when we look at what had happened to Jacob Zuma, now we're sitting with someone who is really sitting in a hot seat, and that is Cyril Ramaphosa. What does this mean for him personally, and also as the president and the leader of the African National Congress?
No, it just means one thing, that South African citizens, and I'm not even referring to members of the African National Congress, and I want to state from the outset, I don't think it's our duty to encourage any citizen to vote for party A or B. That's not our point, but fact of the matter is, I strongly believe that it is the members of the ANC who have contributed to the situation that we currently see. S. Magashule have not been found guilty, but I mean, in any world, in any country that really prides it in itself, you can't have a situation where the Secretary General of a ruling party is dragged to a court of law for such serious cases, and yet the ruling party is not taking action. They're now dilly-dallying, and I do not want to align myself even with the so-called agreement or decision that they've made about senior leaders having to step aside. The ANC is more than 100 years old. They do have a constitution, and I think as such a credible organization, surely they do have rules against members that are implicated in serious court. They don't need this decision that I took a couple of months ago. They just need to implement. And I thought that at least the top 6 or the top 5, because I mean the Secretary General as part of the top 6 will come out and say they have asked the Secretary General to step aside up until this court case has been finalized.
Yes. Now, obviously, this would have devastating implications for the ANC, because when one looks at Magashule's office, it is the most important for the African National Congress.
Yeah, no, most definitely. You can't have a situation like that. And what is unacceptable, as I've indicated, is that this has been the trend. Lack of accountability, lack of transparency when it comes to certain issues. And this is actually, I've never seen the Secretary General coming out and actually send out a message of confidence that he believes in the criminal justice system. It's now recently that I see there's a change in tone in terms that he will subject himself to all the court procedures and all that. But we all know, we can mention them, people who are in key positions, whenever they speak in public, they are not instilling confidence, and they know because they've got power, they've got support, but at the end of the day, this will bring tremendous pressure, not only on the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, but also on certain leaders to say, now will they definitely act against one of their own senior member, but it's definitely not good for the image of the African National Congress.
Professor, we're going to be seeing a lot of accusations and counter accusations as the situation unfolds. And one of the key issues here is, and you mentioned President Cyril Ramaphosa and the position that he finds himself in. And already we are starting to see certain noises being made from certain quarters, talking about President Cyril Ramaphosa using state law enforcement agencies to fight his ANC factional battles. Just your thoughts on, these sentiments that are being expressed.
No, well, I mean, if it was 5 years after democracy, 1999, I would have said, I would perhaps have believed that. But I don't even think the average South African believe that the rhetoric. Because look, I mean, for me, and I'm going to be extremely blunt, those are kindergarten politics. How, and it's an insult to our judges, it's an insult to our criminal justice systems. And I'm not naive. We've got many problems with our police and even with our prosecuting authorities, where sometimes some of these, their own will leak biased decisions. We've seen at the state Zondo Commission, State Capture Commission. But do we strongly believe in 2020 that the president will go to the prosecutors, the MPA, and say, now it's about time that you arrest that? I mean, even if that is the case, and this will not stand in a court of law, if there's evidence, I do not believe that the MPA have just trumped up the charges. And let me be also blunt. I've been a citizen of the Free State. For so long, you can't have a situation where so much money. I mean, we can even mention others, the dairy farm. It's a website, and all the time is 200 million. And you've got a premier who comes out, a former premier, and says he doesn't know about these things. Then there are serious problems. Then my take will be he should not even have been elected as a Secretary General, because he is somebody who does not take care about responsibility, about some of the powers that is vested in him. He will have to go. And I mean, this is an opportunity, a glorious opportunity for people like Ace Magashule and Jacob Zuma to say, yes, it's fine, trumped up charges, and I'm going to show demonstrate my innocence in a court of law, which I presume to be independent.
Yeah, and just talking about Jacob Zuma, and possibly when we look at Ace Magashule, and we've seen what Jacob Zuma's reaction has been to the Zondo Commission of State Capture inquiry, and to a large extent, he was very, very defiant. Are we expecting the same type of behavior coming through from Ace Magashule?
No, he does not have any option. Look, if he does not present himself already, I think our police have treated him with kid's love, because I don't understand why was he not arrested like the others, and then at least go and present himself, be taken to court, and then if he gets bail, then he gets bail. So if he's not going to present himself tomorrow at a court of law, we all know what will be the consequences. So unfortunately, when it comes to the formal procedures, his criminal case, he will definitely have to obey the rules of the country. But within the African National Congress, I cannot see that Ace will just relinquish his position, or where he will actually volunteer and say, look, I've got these charges against me. I ask to be given time off so that I can deal with the situation. That is not the Ace that I know. They are reading from the same script that Jacob Zuma have used. And believe me or not, it's going to become more intense now within the African National Congress. And I just pray that we don't have a situation where it leads to killings that we've seen sometimes in the Free State and in KwaZulu-Natal, because sometimes situations like this, unfortunately, also trumps up, acts which is not in experience of a constitutional democracy like ours.
And Professor, finally, just looking at the ANC going forward, and what does this actually mean for the party, and also at the same time looking at some of the players that the ANC has been reliant on for a very, very long time, the likes of the SA Communist Party and also COSATU.
No, look, luckily we've got a COSATU president, which if you listen to her several times, she has been very vocal about corruption, unlike in the past where definitely the former president of COSATU, you could have clearly seen that it's pro-Zuma. Anything that the Zuma camp was saying, you will go along that. It's the same with the South African Communist Party. We all know the stance of Bladen Zimande, highly vocal, very vocal about corruption and all that. And I strongly believe that they will definitely support all those voices which say let the criminal justice process takes its course. But also, just to come back to your question very briefly, if you are within the African National Congress, depending on which side of the fence you're sitting, I think this sends a strong message, and it's a good thing to happen. It's at both sides. Firstly, it is very good that it's happening, because then at least it gives credence to one of the assertions made or a pronouncement made by President Ramaphosa to say that he's serious about fighting corruption, and that the ANC will not tolerate that. But on the other side, the others will see this as a witch hunt. But as we say, if they know others that are implications, they know what to do. They will have to go and report these other people to the police to say they know others, but no action is being taken, rather than saying there is a political witch hunt. Corruption is corruption, and fraud is fraud. It does not have any other color, whether it's political witch hunt, political infighting.
Well, Professor Sethulego Matebesi, thank you very much for that and for your time with us this morning on Salam Media. We wish you all the best, sir. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, yet many children go to school hungry because of